From the blooper reel. Petition for a classified national securities hearing. Attention, Supreme Court of Canada and Nathalie Drouin, Canada's National Security Advisor to the Prime Minister of Canada. Sometimes there are gaps in my instructions and I might be a little ahead of myself as I never received official instructions as to which court, such as the Supreme Court of Canada or Canada's Classified National Security Court, location and names of justices are the location and names of justices are classified. Or if the testimony needs to be directed directly to the National Security Advisor herself. So here we go. Wednesday, March 11th, 2026. Reaffirmation of my oath to the country. I, James Robertson, do solemnly, sincerely, and truly affirm and declare the taking of an oath is according to my religious belief unlawful, and I do also solemnly, sincerely, and truly affirm and declare that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. Affirmation of my testimony. I, James Stephen Robertson, born February 3rd, 1969, solemnly affirm that the evidence to be given by me shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I am talking specifically about evidence deposited to the Supreme Court of Canada. I will address potentially the meat of the issue. I was never able to determine if there was outside influences or if I was indeed or if it was indeed two adverse reactions to Paxil, but due to the circumstances, everything is suspect. Please see my Facebook and Meta accounts for my testimony and evidence. As mentioned on Facebook, there could be a couple of non-prejudicial flagged events. In addition, there has been computer tampering, so I must review every single online post. Any error will be noted, but the original error will remain visible for all to see. There will be no destruction of any evidence. I affirm that I have declared all potentially illegal acts, specifically the drug use and alcohol consumption, during my undercover operation regarding the investigation of ASEP, its owner, and its representatives and staff. There are absolutely no other criminal acts I may have committed voluntarily or to my knowledge. The events were serious. Were so serious it may have had the potential to subject me to a national security or treason investigation of a person with classified operational anti-terrorism national security information. At a very minimum, there are alleged acts that were prejudicial to my professional reputation before the tribunals and standing with Canada's national security establishments. I also allege there were criminal acts that served absolutely no purpose other than to set me up for a crime. I was called by the Sûreté de Quebec for having made death threats and that the person felt their life was in danger. That is a false accusation. Clearly a false accusation. A second false accusation, we may need to have a criminal conspiracy to criminally harass a person knowing classified national security information. In my opinion, some people need to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law, as it could have permanent prejudices. If I have issues in lower courts, then I'm officially requesting that my name as one of Canada's national emergency responders as part of the Canadian Securities Administrators' response on the Twin Towers and Pentagon terrorist attack will to be unmasked so that I can testify before a lower court. So they can be unmasked before a classified national security hearing. I apologize. My victim impact statement will be brutal, delivered by a professional. People may be leaving by ambulances when I am done dealing with the effects of their criminal acts had upon my life. I am fully aware of the legal consequences for revealing what level of classification the national security information I know legally. Therefore, I used a Google search to establish the level of classification. The only reason I revealed that I knew classified national security information is that I felt that my life was in danger as a CLSC nurse threatened to have me picked up by the Sûreté du Québec. This situation may be preventing me from testifying in the following criminal cases. Louis Talbot, potential conspiracy and organized crime charges. Dossier CVMQ, Commission des Valeurs Mobilières du Québec, or the AMF. This could be a cross-country organized crime case. When I did the investigation, I have the advertisement and 2 people linked, which gives a conspiracy for false advertising, and there are no statutes of limitations. Matthew Wooler, my ex-wife's son, was accused of sexually assaulting his own children by his own ex-wife. It includes international exposure, as some events happened in Costa Rica. I provided the Sûreté du Québec with copies of my communication with the ex-wife of my ex-wife's son, as required by law, as per my duty to report. Joey Pritchard, Matthew's friend, is also accused of allegedly forging documents. Canada Criminal Code, Section 366. Banking documents and a corporate banking resolution. In addition, some of my neighbors may be at potential risk of criminal conspiracy for criminal harassment of a person with classified national security information. All of this is putting my life in danger to the point I may need to request a special concealed weapons permit. I have managed to avoid my walking around armed my whole life. This would be a first for me. There also seems to be issues with both my Facebook and Instagram accounts, possible blocks affecting my testimony and personal communication. If anyone from the DPG or CLSC is affecting my reputation, then they need to be prosecuted and jailed, possibly for life. I have a history of beating the CIUS legally concerning the definition of a résidence dans la province de Québec, which affected every single Société d'habitation de Québec, volet 2 housing projects. I am free to testify in person, either before the Supreme Court, before Nathalie Drouin, the National Security Advisor, or directly in a classified national security hearing. Thank you, James Stephen Robertson. Have a good day.